everyone, I'm Stardew Kitty, and in this video I will be showing you a really cool build hack that makes a really interesting thing that looks like bobbing for apples. Now, you've probably heard of bobbing for apples, maybe you've actually done it, or maybe you've seen it in a movie, but either way, it's really fun to add to Halloween houses in Roblox. So let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. Okay, so for the first thing you'll need to do, you'll just need to go over to Insert and scroll down to Structure. Once you're in Structure, you're going to need to click on Tall Wall and make sure you're in a room like this, and preferably a smaller room and not one of those big rooms. And then once you're over here, go to Large Wall, and you're just going to need to angle it down a tiny bit. Now, place it about right here, this much above the ground, and you're going to need to put another one on the other side, so that way it covers the entire wall. You can change your grid size if you need to make it a little bit easier to add these, but once you've done this, go over to Decorations, and you're just going to need to go down to Rugs. And once you are over at the rugs, so I'm going to go ahead and search it. But anyways, go ahead and add some medium or large rugs, whichever you prefer. I'm going to be using large rugs since they cover more space and they just look better in general for this build. And I'm just going to keep putting them up here like this. So in the end, I have a little bit of a shade area. I'm going to go ahead and delete this because now I have the rugs, and I'm going to change the colors of the rugs to maybe purple and orange. That would be really pretty. So we're going to do purple and then we're going to do orange. Now that we have this purple and orange shade, we're just going to go down here and we are going to go over to Structure again, and we will be adding the area where you bob for apples. Now we need some wood panels, so I'll get out a tall wood panel and I'm just going to turn it like this. Now I will bring it over here. So that way you can go here and bob for apples in this area. Okay, so I'm going to put one on the other side since this does not cover the space I need, but hopefully now that I do this, it will. Okay, so now that we have this, I'm going to need to start adding some apples and stuff, and obviously there's not apples in the Roblox build menu, but we're going to go ahead and place down a medium wall right here, and we're going to do that on both sides so we can cover the entire space of inside here. Now just make this the color, whichever color you'd like, but I'm going to make this sort of the color of water because this is basically going to be like the water that you bob for apples in. Okay, so now that I have the water, I'm just going to search ball, and I'm going to be using the ball as apples since we don't really have actual apples to use. And I'm just gonna place all of these everywhere to sort of fill it with apples to create this really pretty bobbing for apples effect. And I will also be coloring all of these red so they actually look like apples. As you can see, I'm just placing them a tiny bit away from each other, but it'll look really cool when I'm done. We're just gonna fill this with apples a bunch. I took a lot of inspiration for this from the Royal High Halloween update because they have bobbing for apples as a way to get candy, so I thought it'd be really cool to incorporate a bobbing for apples thing in a Roblox build. And you all are free to use this build hack as much as you want. I actually encourage you all to because it is great for Halloween. Now let's go ahead and color all of these red so we can have them actually look like apples. And as you can see, we are almost done coloring all of these red, but it looks really cool and it already is starting to look like a place where you bob for apples, which I love. Now let's go ahead and start adding some decor. So I'm gonna go ahead and add maybe some hay bales. I might add some barrels, just sort of to add on to the Halloween vibes. So we have this hay bale right here, and I'm just gonna stack a couple on the edge, and that will hopefully make it look a little bit more like a Halloween build. So let's just bring this out here, and I'm gonna stack one right in the middle of them. There, now we have some hay bales, and I'm gonna go ahead and add a barrel. So we basically have a bit of a Halloween themed bobbing for apples place. And lastly, I'm gonna go ahead and add the sign. You can either put this on a gravestone or you could just add a normal sign, and I will be doing that. So let's go down to signs, and I'm gonna go over to text signs and get out a medium framed sign. I will make this purple and orange to fit with the color of the shade. And now I'm just gonna make it say bobbing for apples. And then I just added a little smiley face. But that's all you do to make a really fun bobbing for apples place in your Cleverblox house. I recommend adding other cool stuff such as lighting, but you can choose to add whichever things you would like to your build. Bye everyone! I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post tons of Cleverblox content.